hit the ground running. This is the MDN Corner.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the epic journey of one of anime's most iconic characters. And we're going to break down exactly how a lonely outcast became a legendary hero. So, this is really the big question at the heart of Naruto's entire story, right? How does this kid, the one everyone in his village ignores or hates, become their greatest champion? Well, it all kicks off with a devastating secret. A secret so big, he doesn't even know he's carrying it. I mean, this really sums it all up, doesn't it? You've got this huge gap between what people see and what's really going on inside him. To the entire Hidden Leaf Village, he's just a monster. He's the living prison for the nine-tailed fox, this terrifying beast that almost wiped them off the map. But Naruto, his dream was the total opposite. He just wanted to be their Hokage, their strongest ninja, their most respected leader. All of it just so the people who hated him would finally see him. So where does his journey really kick off? Well, it starts with a betrayal, of all things. Some manipulative ninja tricks Naruto into stealing a forbidden scroll. But in a last-ditch effort to save his teacher, Iruka, Naruto somehow masters one of the most powerful techniques, or jutsu, from that scroll. And he does it in a single night. The irony here is just amazing. The Shadow Clone Jutsu, the one technique he couldn't do a simple version of to pass his exam, ends up becoming his signature move for the rest of his life. Okay, so he finally graduates, and he gets placed on a 3-person squad, the legendary Team 7. And who's on it? You've got Sakura Haruno, the girl he's totally crushing on, and then there's Sasuke Uchiha, the cool, distant prodigy, who right away becomes his #1 rival. Now, for a kid who's been alone his whole life, being on a team like this is where everything, and I mean everything, starts to change. So their first test with their new teacher, the super mysterious Kakashi, was a total setup. He had them believing it was all about strength, a straight-up fight, but it was really a test of character. They all went at him one-on-one, and yeah, they failed, miserably. The whole point wasn't even to get the bells from him. The real goal was to get them to see past their own egos and understand a fundamental truth. In the ninja world, you either work together or you're done. And this quote, this one line, it basically becomes Naruto's entire life philosophy. It's not just a rule for a mission, it's everything. This idea is going to guide pretty much every major decision he makes from here on out. It's what transforms the kid who was abandoned by everyone into the guy who would never, ever abandon anyone. So, their first real mission, what was supposed to be a simple bodyguard gig, completely blows up into a fight for their lives. They come face to face with Zabuza Momochi, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. We're talking top-tier threat. Against a guy like this, Naruto and Sasuke have no choice but to drop their rivalry and actually work together for the first time, just to survive. And then, in the middle of this crazy battle, something incredible happens. Sasuke, the guy who acts like he couldn't care less about anyone, literally throws his body in front of a deadly attack meant for Naruto. In that moment, Naruto thinks his rival just died for him, and something inside him just snaps. For the very first time, we see it. The raw, uncontrollable power of the nine-tailed fox is unleashed. Alright, so Team 7 has been through the fire of their first mission, their bonds are stronger than ever, and now they're ready for the next big thing, the Chunin exams. And let me tell you, this is not just a test. It's a brutal, multi-stage competition designed to find the next generation of ninja leaders. They're about to go up against the best young talent from all over the world. And the competition? Oh, it's fierce. They meet this whole new wave of rivals, and each one kind of has their own philosophy. You've got geniuses who believe in destiny, hard workers trying to prove destiny wrong, and then you have Gaara of the Sand. He's like a terrifying mirror image of Naruto. Another outcast with a monster inside, but one who has been completely consumed by it. The second stage of the exam is just pure survival. They literally throw all the teams into the Forest of Death for 5 days. The goal? Hunt down another team and steal their scroll. Simple, right? Except they aren't the most dangerous thing in there, not by a long shot. There's a much bigger threat lurking in the shadows, the legendary Sannin, Orochimaru. And he's there with a very specific, very dark goal. He wants Sasuke Uchiha. Now, one of the most legendary fights of the entire series happens right here in these exams. It's Rock Lee, a ninja who literally can't use any special techniques, against the seemingly unstoppable Gaara. To even have a chance of breaking through Gaara's perfect sand defense, Lee has to do the unthinkable. He opens the inner celestial gates, pushing his body way past its limits to get just insane levels of speed and power. Look, in the end, Lee loses the fight, and he gets these devastating injuries that could end his career. But his determination, his absolute will to prove that hard work can beat natural talent, that earns him a moral victory. Every single person watching, friend or foe, respected him in that moment. So we get to the final stage of the exams. It's one-on-one tournament fights in a massive stadium, everyone's watching. But the whole thing gets cut short. Why? Because Orochimaru finally springs his trap and a full-scale invasion of the Hidden Leaf village begins. Suddenly, the whole village is a war zone. And at the very center of it all is this incredibly tragic duel, the third Hokage fighting his own former student, Orochimaru. In his final act, an act of pure love for his home, the Hokage makes the ultimate sacrifice. He gives his life, not to kill Orochimaru, but to cripple him, to protect the village's future from the very monster he had a hand in creating. So while all the experienced ninjas are off fighting Orochimaru's army, the fate of the village actually comes down to the kids. Gaara, totally overwhelmed by his own power, finally unleashes his sand demon, and the only one who can possibly stop him is the only one who really understands him, Naruto. You have to understand, this was way more than just a fight. It was a clash of ideologies, a clash of two very similar lives. Both Naruto and Gaara were these lonely outcasts, feared because of the monsters sealed inside them. But where Naruto fought tooth and nail to make friends and find strength in those bonds, Gaara did the opposite. He cut everyone off and decided his only purpose was to kill, just to prove he was alive. And Naruto throws everything he has at Gaara. I mean, everything. He summons thousands of shadow clones. He taps into the Nine Tails chakra. And then, in this final desperate move, he uses the summoning jutsu. He calls forth the gigantic chief toad, Gamabunta, to go head-to-head with Gaara's giant sand demon. And by just refusing to give up, by fighting with everything he has to protect the people he cares about, Naruto does more than just win the fight. He completely shatters Gaara's twisted way of thinking. He shows him that real strength isn't about hurting people, it's about having the will to protect them. It's a total victory of empathy over hatred. So in the end, Naruto's journey from this hated kid to a true hero, it gives us a pretty powerful answer, doesn't it? It proves that you're not defined by destiny or by the burdens you're forced to carry. What defines you are the bonds you choose to make and the absolute, unwavering will to never, ever give up on them.